The wind comes in off the sea and presses against the windows. It never quite stops. In Rill, it is always there, whispering, rattling, waiting. Inside the house, the air feels tight. Ruth is small. She stands in the hallway listening. Floorboards creak in the next room. A chair shifts. A glass touches wood. She doesn't move. She's learned not to. There are 6 children, but the house never feels full. It feels crowded instead. Voices rise, then disappear. Doors close softly, as if noise itself is dangerous. Her father brings music into the home. A cello rests against the wall, polished, careful. When he plays, the sound fills every corner. Deep, rich, controlled. But when the music stops, something else takes its place. Her mother moves quietly, always watching, always measuring the room before she speaks. She knows what happens here. Everyone does. No one says it. Muriel, the older sister, learns the signs first. A look, a tone, the way their father's shadow stretches under a door before he enters. When it comes, she acts fast. A hand on Ruth's arm, a push toward the back door. Go! No explanation. No time. Cold air hits Ruth's face as she stumbles outside. The wind is loud here. It drowns everything. She stands in the dark, waiting, not knowing how long she'll be there, only that she cannot go back yet. She never asks why. When she turns 11, something shifts. Attention changes direction. Muriel watches more closely now, but she cannot always be there. The house feels smaller. Nights stretch longer. Every sound matters. A footstep on the stairs. A door opening where it shouldn't. Breath held in the dark. Morning comes, but it brings no relief. Just daylight over the same walls. They move to Basingstoke. New house, new streets. The same silence follows them. It settles into corners, into routines, into the spaces between words. Ruth goes to school. She sits in rows, listens to lessons, watches other girls laugh too easily. Their lives seem simple, predictable, safe. She doesn't belong to that world. By 14 she leaves. No ceremony, no farewell, just a quiet end. Work begins, small jobs, long hours, little money, enough to keep moving. Sometimes she escapes to the cinema in Reading. She sits in the dark, surrounded by strangers, watching stories unfold, where everything makes sense, where people speak their truths out loud, where endings arrive clean and certain. The lights come up. The illusion breaks. Outside, the world waits. Her father leaves for London. A job. A new start. The word sounds promising, but it carries no weight here. Not after everything. Eventually, Ruth follows. She doesn't say goodbye to Basingstoke. There is nothing to say. The wind still presses against the windows as she leaves, and the silence goes with her. London hums. It is louder than anything Ruth has known before. Buses grind through the streets. Doors slam. Voices overlap. Music spills out from basements and stairwells, drifting into the night air thick with smoke and rain. No one listens here. No one watches the way they did back home. At first it feels like freedom. Ruth moves through it quickly, learning as she goes. She meets Edna, who laughs easily and never seems to hesitate. Edna knows where to go, which doors to knock on, which ones to avoid. She pulls Ruth into her world without asking too many questions. Soho opens up. Clubs glow under low lights. Tables are crowded. Glasses clink. Men lean in close when they speak, their voices low, their eyes always searching. The air smells of perfume, layered over cigarettes. Something sweet, trying to hide something harsher underneath. Ruth watches, then she adapts. She becomes a hostess. At first, it is simple. Sit, talk, smile. Keep the conversation moving. make men feel like they matter. It is a performance, and she learns her lines quickly. Money comes faster here, but it never stays. There are always conditions, always expectations just beneath the surface, a hand that lingers too long, a request that isn't really a request. She learns not to react, to separate herself from it. Time moves differently in the city. Nights stretch into mornings, sleep comes in short bursts, days blur together. Faces change, but the pattern stays the same. At 17, everything stops. She's pregnant. The man is already gone in all the ways that matter. Promises are made, then quietly withdrawn. Money arrives for a while, folded into envelopes, then stops without explanation. She leaves London to have the child. The hospital is quiet, too quiet. The noise of the city is replaced by soft footsteps, distant voices, the steady rhythm of something measured and controlled. When her son is born, the world narrows. For a moment, everything becomes simple. His weight in her arms, his breathing, the small, steady presence of something that depends entirely on her. It doesn't last. Reality returns quickly. Work, money, survival. He is sent to live with her mother. It is practical. It is necessary. It is also something she does not allow herself to think about for too long. She goes back to London, back to Soho. The clubs haven't changed. The same lights, the same smoke, the same low voices drifting through crowded rooms. If anything, they feel smaller now, more contained. She moves through them with more certainty. At the Court Club, the rules are clearer, even if they are never spoken out loud. The manager smiles too often. His kindness comes with weight behind it. Favours are expected. Refusal is noticed. Ruth understands. She adjusts. The line between roles fades. Hostess becomes something else. Conversations become transactions. Time becomes something to be managed, divided, sold. Men come and go. Some generous, some careless, some dangerous, in quiet ways that only reveal themselves too late. None of them stay. In 1950, she marries George Ellis. It happens quickly. He is older, established, a man with a profession, a life that appears solid. For a moment it feels like a way out, a different path, a stable one. The illusion doesn't hold. He drinks. At first it is just part of the evening, then it becomes something constant. His mood shifts without warning. Suspicion creeps in. Questions turn into accusations. His voice rises. His hands follow. Ruth leaves, packs quickly, walks out, tells herself it is over. Then she returns. It happens more than once. Each time there is a moment where it seems possible that things might change. Each time they don't. When her daughter is born, there is another pause, another brief moment where something softer pushes through. But George refuses her, refuses the child. The break is final this time. Ruth stands outside it, alone again. London waits. The clubs are still there. The noise, the lights, the endless movement that never allows anything to settle. She returns to it not because she wants to, but because she knows how, because it is what she has. The city takes her back without question, but something has shifted. What once felt like escape now feels closer to something else. Not freedom, something tighter, something that doesn't let go. By 1953, Ruth is no longer drifting. She is running the little club in Knightsbridge. The door opens, the night begins, and everything moves through her. Staff, customers, money, attention. She stands at the centre of it, calm, controlled, always aware. It looks like she has climbed somewhere, but the ground underneath is still shifting. Men still orbit. Gifts arrive. Coats, jewellery, envelopes slipped quietly across tables. None of it settles anything. It just keeps the machine turning. Then David Blakely walks in. He doesn't hesitate. Not in the way he speaks, not in the way he looks at her. He belongs to another world. Racing circuits, fast cars, easy confidence. Within weeks, he is no longer visiting. He is there, in her flat, in her space. He moves in like it's already decided. Ruth lets it happen. He talks about the future as if it's certain. Marriage, change, a different life. He says it enough times that it starts to sound real. But there is always something off balance. He is engaged to someone else. He drinks too much. And he never stays still. The relationship moves quickly, then turns just as fast. Arguments come early, sharp, sudden, cutting through whatever calm is left. He disappears for days, then returns as if nothing has happened. Ruth waits, then stops waiting. She begins seeing someone else. Desmond Cusson. He is older, precise, controlled. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't rush. He offers something Blakely doesn't. Structure, steadiness, a sense that things can be planned. Ruth moves into his flat. For a moment it feels like a decision, like she is choosing direction instead of being carried by it. But Blakely doesn't disappear. He comes back. Always. Calls late, turns up unannounced, pulls her back into the same cycle. Arguments, promises, apologies that don't last long enough to matter. Now there are two lives running side by side. Neither one holds. Blakely talks about marriage again, presses harder this time, as if saying it more often will make it true. Ruth agrees, but the words feel thinner now, stretched over something already cracking. Then January 1955. The argument starts like the others. Drink, accusations. The same ground covered again and again, but this time there is no slowing it down. The violence lands without warning, harder than before. Afterwards, there is a silence that feels different. The miscarriage comes soon after. It is final. Something closes in that moment. Not loudly, not visibly, just a shift, deep and irreversible. Whatever belief was holding things together is gone, but even that doesn't end it. Blakely continues, in and out, demanding, apologising, returning. The same pattern, tighter now, more desperate. Each meeting shorter, sharper, closer to breaking. Cusson remains steady, watching, present, offering control but never quite asking her to choose. Ruth moves between them, but the space is shrinking. There is no room left for delay. Every decision now feels like it is being made too late. Every moment carries what came before it. The past doesn't stay in place anymore. It follows her, into the club, into the flat, into every conversation that starts calmly and ends somewhere else. By April, the tension is constant. Blakely is still there, still close, still impossible to remove. Ruth no longer waits for things to change. She begins to act instead. Small decisions at first, quiet ones, movements that don't draw attention, but they are deliberate. For the first time in a long while, something is forming that isn't reaction. It is direction, and it is leading somewhere very specific. She can feel it now, not clearly, not fully, but enough to know it isn't going to stop on its own. The day feels ordinary. That's how it begins. Easter Sunday, April 10th, 1955. London moves at its usual pace. Cars pass, people talk, doors open and close. Nothing in the air suggests what is coming. Ruth is already in motion. She leaves early, purpose clear, even if unspoken. A taxi carries her through the city. Streets slide past the window. Familiar, distant, disconnected. She watches, but doesn't really see. She knows where she is going. Tanza Road, a flat where she thinks he might be. When she arrives, the timing is wrong. A car pulls away just as she reaches the building. His car. She sees it, recognizes it instantly. Too late. Or maybe just in time. She pays the driver, steps out. The air is cool, still holding the edge of evening. For a moment she stands there, deciding. Then she moves. It's not far. A short walk. Enough time to turn back. She doesn't. The Magdala public house sits ahead, lights on, voices spilling out into the street. The sound is ordinary, laughter, conversation, the low hum of a Sunday night. His car is outside. Ruth stops. This is the point where everything could still change, where she could turn around, walk away, disappear back into the city. She doesn't. She takes her place near the doorway of a newsagent's shop next to the pub, partly in shadow, waiting. Time stretches. People pass without noticing her. The door to the pub opens and closes. Light spills out, then disappears again. Voices rise, fall, overlap. She watches the car, nothing else. Then the door opens again. David Blakely steps out with a friend. They are talking, relaxed, unaware. He walks straight past her without seeing her, heading toward the car. For a second, everything slows. This is the moment. He reaches into his pocket, searching for his keys. Ruth moves. Her hand goes into her handbag. The metal is cold, solid, familiar. She pulls out the revolver. There is no hesitation now. The first shot cracks through the air. It misses. The sound shatters the street. Conversations stop. Heads turn. For a fraction of a second, no one understands what they are hearing. Blakely does. He turns, sees her, and runs. Ruth follows. The second shot hits. He collapses onto the pavement. The impact's sudden, heavy. The world narrows to that single point. Him on the ground, her standing over him. She keeps firing. One shot, then another, each one louder than the last. Each one final. The smell of gunpowder hangs in the air, sharp and immediate. Blakely doesn't move. Ruth pulls the trigger again. Nothing. She tries once more. The mechanism catches, then releases. The final shot fires into the ground, the sound echoing off the buildings. A ricochet, a cry from somewhere behind her. Then silence. Not complete silence, but a stunned, broken version of it. People frozen in place, no one quite moving yet, as if the moment hasn't caught up with them. Ruth stands still. The gun is still in her hand. She looks down at him, then up. Her voice is calm. "Will you call the police, Clive?" The words hang in the air, almost ordinary against everything that has just happened. An off-duty policeman steps forward. He moves quickly now, the spell breaking. Ruth doesn't resist. "I am guilty," she says. "I'm a little confused." The revolver is taken from her hand. The street begins to move again. Voices return, louder now, urgent, overlapping. Someone runs, someone shouts. The scene fractures into motion. But Ruth remains still. As she is led away, she doesn't look back. The night closes in behind her. What has been building for years, through houses, through cities, through men, and moments and choices, has arrived at this single point. There is no movement left now, only consequence. The cell is quiet. Not the restless quiet of the house in Wales, not the charged silence before an argument. This is something else. Controlled, measured, every sound belongs where it is. A key turns somewhere down the corridor. Footsteps pass, then fade. Ruth sits still. The noise of the street is gone now. The lights, the voices, the movement. It has all been stripped away. What remains is structure, routine, the system closing around her. At the police station she's calm. Too calm, some think. She speaks clearly. No confusion now, no hesitation. The words come easily, as if the decision has already been made, and everything after it is simply process. "I am guilty." Doctors examine her, questions are asked, tests are done. They look for something, instability, disorder, anything that might explain, might interrupt what is already moving forward. They find nothing. No insanity, no break from reality. Just a woman who knows exactly what she has done. The trial comes quickly. The Old Bailey, high ceilings, dark wood, the weight of history pressing down from every angle. People fill the room, Press, public, all waiting. Ruth stands in the dock, black suit, white blouse, hair set, composed. She does not try to soften herself, does not try to disappear. All eyes are on her. The case moves fast. It doesn't need long. The facts are clear. Witnesses speak. The sequence is laid out, step by step, each piece fitting neatly into place. There is no confusion here. Then the question comes. Simple, direct. When you fired the revolver at close range into the body of David Blakely, what did you intend to do? The room holds still. Ruth answers without pause. It's obvious. When I shot him, I intended to kill him. There is no way back from that. The words settle over the court like a final weight. The jury leaves. They return in 20 minutes. Guilty. The sentence is already decided. It always was. Death. The system moves forward. Holloway Prison. Days pass, marked not by events but by routine. Meals, checks, silence, letters written, then stopped. Conversations that begin and end quickly, as if time itself is being rationed. Outside, something is building. People talk. Newspapers print her story. 50,000 signatures gather on a petition. Voices call for mercy, for reconsideration, for something to interrupt the process now in motion. Inside, Ruth does not join them. She tells her mother not to fight, but others do. Her solicitor writes to the Home Secretary. Pages of argument, reasons laid out carefully. Another attempt to slow what cannot be stopped. Behind closed doors, new details emerge. The gun, where it came from, who gave it to her, how it was used before that night. A story that suggests planning, not impulse. That sharpens the edges rather than softens them. It is passed upward, reviewed, considered, rejected. The decision stands. The system does not bend. The final night arrives without ceremony. The cell remains the same walls, the same controlled quiet. Time narrows now, each hour more precise than the last. A bishop visits. Words are exchanged softly, almost lost in the stillness. Outside the cell, everything continues as it must. Just before morning, something breaks the routine. A message, urgent, unexpected. A call claiming a reprieve. For a moment the process pauses. Checks are made. Calls returned. A flicker of uncertainty passes through the system. Then it resolves. A hoax. The pause ends. The time is reset. Footsteps approach. The key turns. The door opens. Ruth stands. There is no resistance. No delay. She walks. The corridor is short. The distance measured, controlled like everything else. The execution room waits at the end of it, prepared, exact. At 9:01 a.m, it is over. The system completes its task. No audience, no spectacle. Just a final act carried out behind closed doors. Afterwards, the world outside reacts. Anger, debate, questions that grow louder with each retelling. Newspapers call it something else now. Not justice, but something colder, something older. The last woman executed in Britain. The phrase settles in. It does not end with her. It begins something. Doubts about the system, about certainty, about whether a line has been crossed that cannot be uncrossed. Voices that will not quiet this time. Years later, the law will change. But not here. Not now. Ruth Ellis is buried within the prison walls. No marker. No name for the public to find. Just a place, recorded and closed. The wind still moves through Rill. The city still hums in London. Life continues, indifferent, unchanged on the surface. But something has shifted underneath. A question remains, not about what she did, that is clear, but about what was done in return, and whether, in the end, the system that judged her has to answer for itself.